is going to be about Obama's executive orders. He passed 2 more anti-gun executive orders to make a total of 25. He already passed 23 about 4 months ago. Now he's done 2 more. The first 23 really didn't upset me too bad, and the reason is it was fairly close to after Sandy Hook. It's kind of like they brainstormed a bunch of ideas together. Some were good, some were bad, most didn't do anything, but it's kind of a hodgepodge of executive orders, just a mass of, hey, there's a problem, we're going to try to fix it, blah, 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 like throwing spaghetti to stick at a wall, you know. These last 2 orders, though, really kind of have upset me, and the reason is simple, because they had 4 months to think about them. And then they came out and said what they were for, which was a total and complete lie and fabrication of the truth. So let me introduce you to what the orders are. One is a ban to re-import United States surplus weaponry from our allies who we've either sold or loaned equipment to. All right? So like, oh, we're not going to re-import military-grade weapons. Okay, what's so bad about that? Well, I'll tell you in a minute. And then the second one is where everyone who is going to be on a company/trust has to be ID'd and fingerprinted for the weapon that the trust or company is buying. All right, and that doesn't sound too bad either, because most people have no idea what these 2 laws actually affect, which people are like, oh, companies can buy guns and bad guys can make companies and buy guns. No, they can't, but that's what they would lead us to believe. Okay. So first off, let's talk about the companies. What that means is if I want to buy a suppressor or a short-barreled shotgun or a rifle or a machine gun that's already made and owned, in order to get those, I have to go through the alcohol, tobacco, and firearm, and they have a process where I pay them $200 and I fill out a whole ton of paperwork, and then I wait a year or 2 for them to process it and check me and send it back to me, okay? So 1 to 2 years I gotta wait after putting all this paperwork together to get my suppressor, to get my machine gun, which I'm buying from some other individual, through a level 3 FFL dealer, by the way, who I have to get these from. They can't just be transferred directly from me to him. They have to go through a licensed dealer to make sure everything's on the level. Okay. So what he's done is, or what I would do is, I have my suppressor and I fingerprinted myself and I did it just for me. If I die, my kids can't have my suppressor. I can't leave it to them in my will. If I had put that into a trust, they could be members of the trust and they could then take possession, or they could be out with it without me present. Right now, if my kid took my suppressor out, he would risk 10 years in prison, even though he's 8. But if let's say he's 18, took my suppressor out at the age of 18, he could go to federal prison for 10 years for taking out a piece of my legally owned equipment that I gave him permission to take. So it's just stupid, okay? So they're saying, well, this will help take guns off the streets, you know, of bad people and stuff. And it's like, really? Do criminals wait 2 years and put paperwork into the ATF to get this equipment? Hell no, they don't. The president knows this. His advisors know this. It's BS. They're lying. They're grandstanding and they're lying. Okay, now the second one. Let's review the second one. Second one is no reimportation of military arms. What a lot of people don't know is there is an organization called the Civilian Marksmanship Program. It's been around 110 years. It was invented in 1903 and controlled by the Army up until 1996. Then it became a private entity controlled by a private nonprofit corporation. What they do is they get a hold of our old M1 Garands and M1 carbines and some Springfield bolt actions. These are old military weapons from the 1900s up until about 1965 when the M16 was invented. So we're talking about 50-year-old or older weapons that they get back from, let's say, South Korea or someplace. They refurbish them, and then because I'm a member of a special shooting club that's under the Civilian Marksmanship Program qualifications, can do a lot of paperwork, send it off with some money, and they can send me an M1 Garand for about $600 or $700, right? I can get a 50-year-old rifle for $600 or $700 that is an antique, and then I can shoot it. This is a weapon that fires 8 shots, semi-automatic, far less sophisticated than the modern AR-15 or AK-47. It's the World War II advancement, not Vietnam or anything beyond that. So anyway, So I can get this nice old heavy giant World War II gun. And it would mainly be a collector's item, or it would be something I would use in a M1 Garand shoot, where you go down and you compete against other people with M1 Garands. So they're preventing these from coming back into the country and being distributed to law-abiding citizens. I have never seen or heard or even looked at anything that even would suggest that anyone has used one of these 50-year-old rifles within the past 20 or 30 years in any illegal manner whatsoever. So again, he's saying we're taking these weapons off the street, really, because I see a lot of gangbangers carrying around World War II 12-pound semi-automatic rifles. Hell no, I don't. They don't carry that crap. Who would carry that? I mean, the only reason that they sell or anything is because the antique purpose or the competitive shooting or that and stuff. People usually get them and be like, oh man, that is a piece of history. I'd love to get that. I never hear a gangbanger being like, oh man, I'm going to go World War II style and get this M1 Garand and I'll just wait the 90 days and fill out the paperwork to order it. It's a bunch of crap. So anyway, the reason I have such a problem with these two executive orders is they didn't hodgepodge them together with a whole bunch of other ones in a rush. They thought about them for 4 months. Then they came out and said, hey, we're taking guns off the street, when neither one of these will take not even one damn gun off the street. Will not even take one damn gun off the street unless it's illegally stolen, which they probably got some other guns because only a collector would have these. So again, it just really irritates me that they're passing laws like this, executive orders, and they're killing a 110-year-old program that is a piece of American history by doing it too. The thing about it is this. Anytime you see President Obama get up and say, I'm not going after your hunting rifles or your shotguns, call bullcrap on him. And the reason is he's going after our military antiques that are sold to law-abiding citizens, and he's increasing the paperwork for people to get their NFA, National Firearm Act items done. He's increasing the paperwork for them. So he just passed two executive orders. One's to outlaw getting our equipment back and selling it to civilians. The other one is banning, or not banning, but is increasing the paperwork so that people won't get NFA items, which are legal to get by the 1934 Firearms Act. He's just making it more of a hassle. He's also cut the funding and decreased the number of people in that. So now instead of a 9-month wait, which was outrageous, now you have a 1 to 2 year wait to get your paperwork put through by the ATF. So it's a load of BS. He announced it when he signed in the new ATF director, so once he got him in, he did exactly what he did when he got reelected. He went after what he wanted when he got what he wanted. He had the plan to go along after it all the time. He planned to attack guns. He planned to attack these things, but he had to get things in place. He had to get his reelection to attack the guns in place, and he had to get the ATF director put in charge, announced and put in charge before he could change the ATF rules. So anyway, it just ticks me off, pisses me off that he's screwing around this way. He's a big liar. He would take every gun away from every American. I truly believe that in my heart based on everything he's done so far, because everything that they've said he's going to do with guns, he's gone and done. He's gone and attacked it. All the people said he's going to do this, this, and this, and everyone said, no, he's done it now. He's going to continue to take away as many guns as he can from you and I, law-abiding citizens, so that he has the power with his federal thugs. And I don't know if he's planning on doing something at the end of this, if this is some end plan, or if he just thinks he wants to save all of ourselves from owning and possessing guns because we're too stupid to control ourselves and have firearms and he's got to protect us or what. But anyway, that's it. I'm done. I feel better now.
Meep, meep.